Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Most Unknown Podcast, man. Before we introduce our guest, we've been waiting to do this for a long time, right? Like,
Yeah, on a Wednesday.
Trying to go down this path for a long time. We just
This is the first installment.
We thought it'd be interesting.
Shit gonna get rigged after this.
Right. Oftentimes it's just us three in here just talking shit about.
We want classic porn stars, not.
And we talk about.
we don't want your amateurs.
We talk about sex. We talk about relationships
about
with women, but it's not often it's women here.
Oh, so
right?
I'm bringing the female perspective today.
Which is always a good thing, man. So I like to if you can introduce yourself. I'm sure you can do a much better job than that one.
Well, thanks. My name is Jennifer Smith, and I'm a sex therapist, marriage and family therapist. I practice in the Alexandria, Virginia area, and my main goal is to really help people reach their level of sex potential. And be a great lover to their partner.
What pushed you down that avenue? Like at what point did you really think like, okay, that's something that I want to do or I could do, or how did you even know that was a thing?
Yeah, so a funny story. I used to watch Oprah, as most young kids did after school, and she used to have sex therapists on the show.
She did.
But they were always white. And I was like, wow, all these topics are super relevant, but I wanted to see someone like me talking about it, and anytime I thought about sex or saw commercials or advertisements, it was about HIV. Nothing about it was about pleasure or about the body or showing the relationships, and so I wanted to be the change I wanted to see. And so that's one of the reasons why I decided to become a sex therapist.
One thing I like to have conversations about, like when I get to know people or whatever. It's like what was the discussion about sex in your household when you were younger? Mm-hmm. There was no discussion in my crib about sex. It wasn't like a good thing or a bad thing. It just wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Right. And then by the time my mother got around to asking me, I was already like
you're already having sex.
I was already active, so it was kind of like, bro, I almost laughed when she asked. I was like, come on, man, stop playing. Come on.
I think that is applicable though for most people, especially boys. I think like they just don't get that talk until they're already having sex, and even then it's more like, here goes some condoms, and I'll show you how to use them. And sometimes you don't even get that. But in my household, my mom was very much of like, we are going to read books together about sex and reproduction and about hygiene and about puberty and things like that. And I think that she did it great because it was very much of like age appropriate. So like we had an evolving conversation about sex and the way that I was feeling, emotionally and mentally about it and physically having those desires. But I grew up in the teen pregnancy era. And so sex education was something they started talking to us about in middle school.
Yep.
I had 3 girls in my middle school pregnant.
Yeah.
So it was too
Same.
late, fam.
Yeah. So I was very fortunate. I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and we had peer mentors that taught us about sex education. And they were from high school. They were trained through the University of Pittsburgh to come in and teach us about sex. And this program went on for like 6 or 7 weeks every school year that you were in middle school. And that really was the reason why I decided to not have sex, but also that's how I got my sex education about STDs, pregnancy, orgasms, about partners of different sexes, partners of same sexes. Like they really gave us a full-fledged picture of what sex looked like.
What age group or grade do you feel like they should introduce sex education?
I mean, like 5th grade.
Okay. Because
kids now have so much more accessibility to social media. So they're seeing porn earlier. They're seeing, if you go on Twitter, you can find it, not even looking for it.
Yeah.
So they're exposed to it a lot earlier. So I think 5th grade, that's when you're starting to go through puberty. Your body is starting to change, but also you're starting to feel sexual desires.
It might be. I feel like it should be earlier even. My first.
I think for boys it probably is earlier.
The first time I ever seen sex on TV, I had to be in like 2nd or 3rd grade. Because we had illegal cable. So at 12 o'clock, boom, they was fucking. No matter what you was watching. My mom used to go to sleep early, so we used to watch the
Sneak
TV.
downstairs.
And I used to like rush her to bed. Because I knew what was about to happen. I didn't want to be sitting there and porn come on and me and my mother watching TV. I was trying to avoid that at all costs.
But this is
I have
funny.
so many questions about that. I'm gonna ask you next time.
You said we're gonna footnote that.
That's a footnote. Thank you.
But you
Footnote.
said
Been
Not
there.
tired?
you said that boys usually. But you know what's funny? And I got a lot of homies that share the same story. My first like brush, even though we didn't have sex this time,
Yeah.
right? Like my first brush with sex, a girl was the one that, mind you, she had an older sister, but she's the one that coerced me into doing it. And I got mad homies with the same
Yeah.
story. Like
Yep.
we was down, I'm chilling, I'm thinking we gonna chill. She's like, you know how you do the dry humping thing?
Mm-hmm.
She
That
like,
dry humping
look,
kindergarten.
I gotta whatever. I never get her saying like it's hairy, but it's cool. Blah blah blah. Put it down. She was telling me like you got to stick it in here.
Wow.
I might have been in fourth.
Yeah, my shit wasn't.
I might have been in
My
fourth
shit
at the
was
time.
crazy.
Wow.
This girl
That's
offered me
great.
head. This girl offered me head while I was 12. Like that shit was crazy.
But most
I said-
most
I
of the
said-
homies
I
I
got
know,
her number, though.
they got the same story.
Yeah.
It's girls.
A lot of
that,
older women.
that took them there.
A lot
I
of
don't
boys,
know.
I think, had the experience of like my babysitter, right? Like if it was a teenage girl or just like
No,
a
girls
few
on the
years
block for me.
older, like they definitely have had those experiences. Thinking that like, well, I just had sex with an older woman, but it's like, well, was that assault? Like, cause you know what I mean? Like, do you at that age are you able to consent? Do you really know what you're doing?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I was
That's
in
right.
4th grade too. That's crazy.
I mean, because if you
It was
look
in my
at
cousin's basement. Her name was Ashley. Huh?
It was in my business.
if you look at 4th grade kids now, you're like, no, I like go
Yeah,
right.
it's
Like if
impossible.
you had a daughter or a niece that's that
Mm-hmm.
age now, you'd be like, hell no, like your brain's not even close to being developed to make those decisions.
I thought I did at that time, but nah.
Yes.
That's right. You absolutely right. You're
Yeah, but
absolutely
sex
right.
education is something that I think is definitely something that's age appropriate. You have to tell kids about it in a different age appropriateness, but also like it has to be an evolution. Like even as adults, we need to still be having sex education.
That's right.
There's no like cap on how much you can learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the first day of sex education when I was in elementary school. It was 5th grade, and they told us like it was happening. So all the boys, we was excited because by that time niggas was already lying on their dick. So niggas was telling you, yeah, I had sex
In
last
5th?
weekend. It's 5th, 6th
Wow.
grade.
That's crazy.
Niggas was lying already because you wasn't just hanging out with
Niggas
people
lying
your
in
age.
third
No,
grade.
we was keeping it a stack.
Nah.
Niggas was
was
lying in
already.
third
'Cause
grade
I
when
got
I went
older
to third
brothers,
grade.
older
Yeah.
cousins, so sometimes I'd be hanging out with them, and I would be hearing like their stories. And I'd just be like, damn, man, this shit sound cool, man. I
Niggas
gotta make
used
up
to
a story
lie.
of my own. But like, so I remember the first day of school, we was all the boys excited. We was geek. We had a countdown and shit for this class, bro. Perfect attendance that day, I'm sure. She walked. The instructor was in the front of the board. We all geeking. Everybody in the front row. She like, all right, guys, I'm gonna give you a chance. I'm gonna let everybody walk up to the board and write every sexual word that you can think of.
Oh my
Niggas
gosh.
ran up to the board.
Wow.
Cock, dick, pussy. It was egregious, fam, at that point. And niggas was happy as shit to do that.
There's the most participation.
Oh
they had.
my God, it was crazy. That
What
first
you
day,
wrote,
dog,
nigga? What
I
you
don't
wrote?
remember, bro. It was probably
Stop
something-
lying. What
it
you
was something
wrote?
crazy, bro.
Booty hole, you wild ass.
I'm sure it was some crazy shit.
I
but
would have
like,
wrote fat pussy.
I just remember everybody, like, all the niggas running to the board to grab chalk, bro. They was going crazy on that joint. The chalkboard was full by it. It was like
I'm
a
sure.
5-minute exercise. Niggas
Wow.
just
That's a crazy.
rattled off everything. And then
PG
I don't
system
remember
for you.
where we went after that.
Well, it's crazy because now, like, in certain states, parents can sign their kids out of sex education at school.
Wow.
So it's optional if they even get it. So it's like if you don't get it at school and your parents may not tell you, right, or talk to you about it, then, like,
I'm cool with that though.
you just chilling.
I think that's a good. I'm cool
I would
with
only
that.
sign.
That's better,
I
that's
would only
better.
sign my kid out if I was doing it. I'm not
okay.
gonna sign them out and then not do it either.
right,
That doesn't make
right.
any
No,
sense.
that's what I'm saying. I'm cool with it. If you rather, as a parent, if you rather have your own,
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
I'm
Your own
cool with,
conversation
yeah, I'm
about it,
cool
yeah.
with it. Yeah, I'm cool.
I think it's a lot of parents though that still have a hard time explaining, right, or talking about it, or how much do we tell them? How do we have these conversations? Like, what do we do if we find out our kids already having sex? Like, now we have to have even a different conversation.
You gotta be delusional in the black community now to cause I wouldn't even, me and my mom never talked about sex. You know what I'm saying? Like, her first instance, she caught me when you go to flush the condom down, it don't flush and shit pop back up, and she like, oh, you having sex? But like, her first thing was like, oh, I'm glad you're using the condom. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, these days, you delusional if you think you don't have to have that. We talked about on the podcast. I was on I take the subway to work. I'm on a bus. It's a dog. It's niggas in middle school talking about like the convo. Like, man, where was you at last night? We trying to call you. We was fucking the shit out these joints. Like they talking like, and I'm thinking they bluffing because how boisterous they, and they get on FaceTime with the FaceTime and they was like, yeah, we came down there. It was like they naming the girls. It was like she was sucking him and I'm like, dog. So I'm trying to get the, mind you, I'm full nosy at this point. I done turned the AirPods off. It's in my case. I'm just really enamored with this shit, like what they are. And they had to be in middle school. They couldn't be because the whole thing, like, why you go to school yesterday? We had the joints. She sent the invite on her Finsta, and I'm like, dog. Wow.
That's tight.
Like that's where we at now. Like
that's amazing.
I almost want to invite him on the pod because I want some young niggas to really talk about their sexual experiences now because I'm pretty sure it's night and day.
But the thing is, right? Like because they're getting younger, one of the things that unfortunately I've had to deal with in my career is these kids are being exposed to, sexting earlier, and now that they are being. It's a felony. So those kids are now being charged with felonies every time they take pictures or videos. They're quick to Snapchat. Kids? Yeah. Because it's distributing child pornography.
Yeah.
So if I'm 13 and I send a dick pic to another 13-year-old, I'm in trouble. I can get in trouble.
Yes, 100%.
That's crazy.
So that is something that I had to deal with when I lived in Florida. There were so many kids at the school that had now been charged with a felony for distributing child pornography, right? Or making it. Because they knew they were videotaping them or videotaping somebody else without their consent, right? So it was like, well, now what do we do? Like, if they in some states they can still be registered as a sex offender.
They can get convicted.
So like you have to now find a different place to live. You can't live with your parents. You can't go to school.
I'm saying, are they getting convicted of this though?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I can see getting charged, but for a judge to really look another 13-year-old in the face and be like, hey, bro,
because they're trying to make an example of them. Because it's like this has to stop. We can't normalize it. But if we look at Twitter, Snapchat,
in the same nation as sex sales,
yeah,
that's okay.
Exactly right. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? Yeah.
Damn, bro.
That was something I had to deal with, and I was like, that was one of the reasons I was like, well, I don't think I can work with kids anymore. This is getting deep.
Yeah.
I remember having 3 girls pregnant in my middle school, but like. It wasn't like, it was a big deal. Yeah. That's because nobody else was like really on it like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was like a big deal. Mm-hmm. Like they were showing, like walking around the hallway. So that was like, it was like the talk of the school for months. You know what I mean? And, but I feel like younger, like I work in a middle school. Yeah. Right? And I hear stories and shit that's going on, even in the building. I just be like, yo, you think this is crazy. Like, like what? Mm-hmm. And even back then it was just like boy and girl. Now it's like,
oh yeah,
everybody's gay. It's cool. Everybody's gay.
Not even that. When I was working at a middle school, there was a kid there that had been suspended multiple times for having threesomes in the bathroom.
Oh,
threesomes! I'm like,
he was a boy
in middle school.
He was a boy with other girls.
Yeah, it was a boy with other girls. Like suspended multiple times. I mean, this kid was like a sexual
serial sex.
He was like a sexual deviant. He had been
a monster.
That word is always funny to me.
Always.
Yeah. And you know what? The crazy thing is, like, this kid, I could tell that something was wrong with this kid because he had multiple orgasms, right? And I mean multiple partners, but the parents had been notified multiple times, like there is something going on with him. He is hypersexualized. He'd be watching porn in class. He was like a sex addict, but he was so young. And he eventually got expelled because he tried to rape a teacher.
Oh shit!
And so it's like. The parents are not listening.
The kids, but you gotta lock him up early. I'm telling you.
100%.
Get out of the way right now.
That was smart. Shout out to the school system for saying it early because it got out of control.
I didn't think that's.
But let's be honest. Think about we all like coming up in school, and I'm assuming we all around the same age, right? We have people coming up that that the kid that was like really horny, like you had the horny kid. Yeah. Imagine if he had like a cell phone with access to like that shit would have been ticked up so like
100%.
Not having a phone probably saved niggas back in the day because like some niggas was already on the borderline like having access to that shit. We used to have to either sneak to watch it on the cable box and B-side, and if that wasn't it, you had to download it on LimeWire, which probably took a good hour and a half.
Crash your
hard drive. And if you shared a computer with your folks, it was dead because you didn't want them to see it. So so it was all like, you know what I'm saying? Like imagine if we just had a click and they get this shit in HD, bro. That shit in
The access
shit
to
in
it is so
180p.
scary now.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I think it has amplified quite a bit how many kids already have that sexual deviance or that, like, that escalation of, like, sex addiction.
Or even what they think is normal.
I keep
Oh,
telling
100%.
I keep telling the
100%.
schools they need to take the cell phones out of the schools, bro. They need to
100%.
ban the cell phones.
They can't though.
They need to.
9/11
parents'
changed
fault.
all.
It's
Yeah,
the
it
parents
changed.
too,
9/11
bro.
changed all
Yeah.
that. But
The parents complain all the time about them not having direct contact with their kids.
no, for sure.
Oh, well,
I think
Call
kids
the
need cell
fucking
phones,
school
though.
phone. What the fuck?
Nah, I do think in today's day, like if it was 89 or 90, cool. But like in 2023,
What's different?
yeah,
Though?
they need
What you
phone-
think is different?
Nigga, what?
Kids used to ask me like, what did y'all do when it was an emergency?" I used to be like,
Parents called the school.
"Damn, like, what the fuck you talking about? You think emergency started because you got a cell phone?
So
That's not how this works, man."
You don't think it's not the same world though, bro?
But what's the difference?
A lot.
It's a lot.
Give me an
Just
example.
turn on the news, bro.
No, but give me an example.
I mean, we gotten sicker over time as humanity goes by. Like, even when I be on the joint going home, train going home, and like kids to be 13, 14, I need to be able to reach them at all times, bro. Like, it ain't no, like, it ain't that no more, bro. This ain't the 90s or the 80s when you driving, school bus drops the kid off, they in a nice cul-de-sac, the whole neighborhood watches after the kid. We not in that era no more, bro. It's like, yeah, they need a cell phone.
But I'm saying, my thing is like, cell phone's not stopping nothing.
Yeah.
That's true. Very
If a
true.
nigga
Hey,
want to
was-
kidnap your kid,
I mean, would it
your
stop
cell
it?
phone's
Would it
not
stop it?
nothing. That's
something?
my
I mean,
point.
would it stop anything?
Nothing.
Security in the spot ain't really stopping nothing that you really feel like.
That's
you
what I'm
know?
saying.
definitely not.
The cell phone shit don't mean nothing. It's not gonna save you if it's like if somebody wants to do something, they're gonna do
It puts you a little more peace of mind, though.
Maybe.
This ain't the 90s, bro.
Yeah, you're right.
You're not checking in with Mr. Johnson. He calling you like, hey,
Yeah,
your
yeah,
kid
yeah.
made it home safe, and that don't even exist no more.
They ain't give a fuck.
Huh? Shit, with who? With who?
It was a
No,
few,
it was, but on my
Yeah,
block,
yeah.
everybody knew, bro. If one of the neighbors see me showing my ass, they'll talk to me. You know, that was a real thing. Huh?
Yeah.
Mr. Johnson was the one. He's the one you needed to watch out for. So I got some. We got some true and false questions that I want to.
Okay.
I want to throw at you, and then you just give us true or false, and then if you want to go into it, you can.
Okay.
If you don't have to. So there's a saying. There's like a thing that we've all heard that women make up their mind about having sex with a man within the first 2 minutes of seeing him.
True.
Really?
God damn.
Who doesn't do that though? We had this talk before. That's my rebuttal to that shit. Like, I think if you call somebody attractive, right?
You're
I'm not
basically
saying
saying-
you're literally saying there like, oh, bet I'm about to fuck so and so. But the minute you deem your mind deems, hey, it's attractive, subconsciously,
Yeah.
you've seen yourself like, I can have sex with this person. Because if you couldn't, they wouldn't be attractive. Correct?
I mean, but I think there's a difference of like you can find someone attractive but not want to fuck them.
okay, but
Oh,
I mean,
Shannon.
but that's after you get to, that comes later, right? Like,
We could look at somebody and be like, oh, they're attractive, but then you could look at somebody and be like, no, I want to fuck that person.
I'm talking about.
interesting.
Yeah, like yeah, we definitely know the difference. For
I just
sure.
don't, but I don't just think it's a woman thing though. Like men, do
No, it definitely. We just don't talk about it nearly as much as y'all.
yeah, for sure.
That's
We
true.
will internalize. We will have a whole date. We'll have 2 whole dates, knowing that we still gonna fuck you at the end of one of these dates.
That's what I be telling niggas. I
We're
be
not
like,
gonna tell you up front.
at the end of the day, bro, you have a better chance
That's not
of
fair,
working
dog.
your way out. If she wants to have sex with you, bro, you are all you're doing is you don't work your way out of it.
Oh my God. Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
please,
Just like don't work
please,
your way
don't
out of it.
say-
Niggas work their
Don't
way out
say
of
stupid
What?
shit.
If you've made up your mind-
you're gonna
I'ma
talk
say
yourself out of
stupid
some
shit.
pussy every time.
Every
I miss
time,
the stupid shit.
You seem like you have a mad experiences on this.
So many.
Can you talk about a time you had like nigga had it in the bag
Oh yeah,
and
I
just fucked it up?
just
completely?
haven't. Just haven't.
Oh shit! Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Don't choke on it.
Without leaving out, you know what I mean? Go ahead.
Yeah,
Just-
I met this dude and we like hit it off. We met at a club a few weeks ago. Hit it off, great chemistry. We FaceTime every day, like just lots of energy there. And it was like we were like sapiosexuals. We're like, oh God, like the way that we about to fuck each other is about to be on. And then I was having a kind of a down day. So I just wasn't as responsive in my text messages. And he wrote,
Oh, no.
why are you being so dry? And that for me was like, shut it all down. I was just like, I was here with you, and then you weren't even there, like, for, you know what I mean? Like, something to hold space. Or just be like, is everything okay?
Kudos for you
Like,
for peeping the red flag
you all right?
ASAP.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
And that's not even a big one. That's
Yeah,
like
that's
Yeah,
not
that's
even
like-
big. For me, once
But
I
it's
saw that,
enough.
I just was like, yeah, my pussy not getting wet for you no
Yeah,
more,
it's
knowing that
enough.
you can say some old,
Yeah.
like some shit like this, even though like we have a very playful relation, you know, like back and forth. Still, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I do for a living. You know that there's hard days. Like, we've had conversations about it. So I just, like, seeing that, I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm so good on that. And, like, he wrote me, like, the next day when I didn't, you know, respond. He's like,
done?
He was like, are we good? And I was like, you already, well, we both Geminis. So I was like, you know how we are. And he was just like, oh, yeah, I'm done. I was like, yep.
There's no respect in him being, like, accepting he's done? You can spin back?
He'd have to do something to get back in my good graces.
But it's a little glimmer of hope there.
Yeah. Only because our chemistry is really good.
For sure.
And I still kind of want to have sex with him.
Have you ever
But,
have y'all ever
but
talked?
I can't take the risk of him saying something stupid again. Then I'd be like, well, nigga, now you really done.
No, for sure.
Have y'all ever talked that way out of a situation where it's like, yo, this could I know this is gonna happen.
For sure. You know it as soon as it
I
happens.
did that shit on purpose.
You know it as soon as it happens. You like,
Why on
man,
purpose?
fuck.
Because I play too fucking much. That's what's my problem. I did it on purpose.
Because you just didn't want to hook up with her?
I just did it on purpose. I was just being an asshole that day. Something was going bad. I was just like, that would be an asshole. So I just did it on
Let me
purpose.
sabotage this.
Yeah, let me fuck this up real
He's
bad.
going to crash and burn it.
Yeah,
That's not good.
yeah.
I suck at hiding my emotions, right?
That's
So
cool.
if I really feel something, like, it's going to come out regardless of what side of the field it's on. And I've been in them positions where it's like, dog, like, and you know when it happens, dog. The mood changes, the switch happens.
Switch,
You're like,
dog.
dog, why
That
the
shit
fuck?
switch
It only
on
two
you
at a
so
time, but the morning you be mad as shit, bro. I thankfully every time that's happened, I done showed. I be having my moments, but I feel thankfully it's enough real that went in front of that, so you know that's a one-off, and know that like, all right, John at his core is still a solid nigga. It's like one or two though that they probably think I'm weird. Swear to God, they just caught me on bad days, but for the most part, I think if you
It'd be like that.
if you know me enough, people will be like, all right, cool, he's solid. But I'm gonna have my moments for sure.
It was something you said or something you did?
It's probably something I said, cause I don't do nothing. Like I'm not gonna do nothing physically or nothing like that, but like. They know when I get in my bag or like something trigger, I can't shut up, and I need to learn the art of shutting the fuck up sometimes. 'Cause it just gotta happen. But like if it's there, I'm gonna say it, and it's cost me for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
For sure.
I definitely know what the fuck it was for me. For me, it's like an on and off switch. I'm kind of hot and cold, so I might be hot for a long time, and then I'm like cold, and then you're like, what the fuck just happened? And it might be something small, and I might not even realize it in the moment, but it might just be something that now I'm acting different towards you, and then you're like, what?
Come across as a weirdo for real.
I was like, yo, what's
You
good
are a
with this
weird nigga,
nigga?
though,
A
low-key.
little bit. It's like, yo, what's good with this nigga? What
You
happened?
got to communicate that.
But this is like when I was younger, I didn't know
Oh, yeah, you didn't,
to
yeah.
communicate, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even know what it was. But like, you know, the older you get, the more better you get to know
Yeah.
yourself, and now it's like I can feel it when it's coming, so I
Yeah.
can communicate that ahead of time. Like, yo,
I just want guys to know that, like, communication and consistency is the biggest aphrodisiac. Like, that will get you every time. You're like, wow, nigga talking, he's communicating, and he's consistent. Like, that shit will get some pussy wet quick.
yeah.
Quick. It's like, just
But
because.
sometimes it gets you too far.
Yeah, it goes.
It's like I don't even
That's the problem.
I don't
You try
want to
pull
be
back.
this far with you. You know what I mean? It's like I gave you too much. Now you think I love you.
That comes with the communication piece of what it is.
So, that sounds good.
Nah, that's
That sounds good, John.
But
That
that
sounds
don't.
good.
That sounds good, but it doesn't
sounds
always
good.
work.
What does that mean?
It's like I can be honest with you. I can be as honest as as humanly possible,
Yeah.
right? Like I can tell you my thought. I can lay it out clear as day. But once you made up in your mind that you like me, it doesn't matter when I say this is not going to go anywhere. You don't give a fuck about that.
Well, you
You've
have to.
thrown that out the window in your head.
You
Like,
have
you
to
might-
keep reinforcing that boundary of this is like reminding that person, like, don't forget, like, we only going to this point, like.
Hey, reminder, we're about to be shit. You know what I'm
Just so
saying?
you
Like,
know,
I
know
mean,
we just had a
because
good time,
guess
but-
what? That's honesty.
Yeah.
Although that person may not like it, they will respect you because that's what you've continued to be honest. Because at the end of the day, nobody can be mad at you for being yourself.
I tried to tell this yesterday.
That's true, man. Nobody can be mad at you for being. I mean, people can be mad.
They can be mad, but that ain't on
Somebody
you.
tell me, you like to be a center of attention. You know how many times I heard that? I'm like, no, I don't. I'm just being me. But my fault. That child
Sometimes,
like
you know,
that
I don't know.
turned
That
out
could.
bad.
That,
I don't. The constant reminder shit I don't do, but I always refer back to like I do agree with being honest, like completely out the break, right? Because I always tell people you lose some people like that. Like you'll be like, look, We ain't about to be this, that, and the third. And some will go their separate ways. But I feel like 80% of the time, they be like, okay, thanks for your honesty, and fake ghost you. And then once they text you back, you signed a invisible contract. You signed up to the terms of agreement. And we'll just refer back to that whenever you get a little crazy. Like, But some of y'all don't give a fuck after that.
Y'all don't. What's that? Why they don't? Why y'all don't respect men boundaries?
And don't act like you ain't been
y'all
one.
not about to put me in a whole category,
I'm
okay?
just asking.
You've not respected boundaries before.
You know I'm not. This not about to go nowhere.
I'm human.
This December.
So why did you do that? And why? Like,
I liked you in July.
You're intelligent, clearly. You're sexually aware. When you was in that space, why was it so hard to pull you out of that? But because you knew you wasn't respecting boundaries. So what goes through the mind of somebody like, I could change this nigga?
I mean, I think like in the past I have, because it was just like your actions said something different than your words. And so that's why I felt like I could push the boundary or go past the boundary, because I was just like, you say that we're just casual, right? But why are you sleeping over here every night?
Who's the blame on in that situation?
Both.
Equally?
I think it's both. Okay. Because one, I wasn't speaking up and asking those things in the beginning, right? When those things were happening. But he also wasn't respecting his own boundary of like, if this is just casual, then you shouldn't be sleeping here at night. You definitely shouldn't be giving me no money for bills. Oh, right? Shit. Like, you definitely shouldn't be dropping your kid off here.
Oh, yeah, y'all go.
Yeah, like.
Wait a minute.
It's on him. He was wild.
Yeah, like, again, like, the actions have to match the words. And that's why I say, like, the reinforcement part, or referring back to a previous conversation of, like, remember when we agreed of, you know, what we're going to be, because those things are important in order for people to kind of stay in their lane. But
you're admitting in this, it gives us a right to be cold maybe sometimes, but we don't even want to be, but we just know we got to be.
I think it's all about tone and way you say it, because it can come across cold, but again, it's the effective communication of like, I'm just trying to make sure that we're on the same page always.
I agree with you 100%.
You know what I mean? I mean, people were not going to like it, but again, like, if you're dealing with someone who has maturity, right, or intelligence, then they're going to respect and understand, like, you're right, we're here. Yeah.
You know, I say what you said all the time. Remember I told you that meme to be like, girls be like, why she take me so seriously? And in the upper left corner, they at the movies. The upper right, they colored it up. The other joint, they on like a date. It's crazy because it forces you to be like, you can fuck with somebody, but it kind of forces you to be, it kind of forces you to do less, right? Because it's like you got to keep it.
Yeah. Otherwise, you know what I mean? Right. I literally just had a conversation with someone recently of like, if we're not dating, then like I don't need us to go on dates or be spending so much time together, and I definitely don't need to talk to you every day. Like if we're just gonna be hooking up, I just want to fucking hook up, because my feelings are gonna get involved and I am gonna have higher expectations of you. So like we need to define what it is that we're doing, because otherwise like yeah, I'm gonna start to expect more and do more if this is what we're doing. You know what I mean?
You know what I don't think gets talked about enough? Like the men in these situationships and how attached they get.
Yes.
That's not really a conversation.
Oh my God.
We always talk about how women get attached and, you know, they turn it into something different. But we don't really talk about how like men get into these situations and they say they want something casual. But then when the woman treats it casual, they be
like, why y'all want to stay tonight?
And niggas start
why y'all be calling
crazy.
me?
Clean.
I had a dude we were literally, that was our arrangement. It was just like, we just friends with benefits or fuck buddies, right? And like he started changing. Like he was like, oh, like I think tonight I want to like, us to be in the bathtub, and I want us to. And I was like, whoa. I was like, okay, so
if you want to be around you with no socks,
this nigga want foreplay.
She really liked you for it. Really liked you.
In a bathtub together?
Yeah, he wanted to like bed. He wanted to he had my favorite desserts when I got there. And I was like, okay, so like boyfriend. We need to have a conversation. Like this is not like I see what you're doing, but this is taking it past where we at. So like we need to reel it back in. And he was just like, well, I was just thinking we just do a little something different. I'm like, well, you need to talk to me about it. You can't just be doing something different. Like we gotta have a conversation. Then it was like, well, why you don't want to spend the night and just be nice to cuddle? I'm like, hold on, like things is changing. We need to talk about it.
Clingy man.
Damn, bro.
But that's dope how you keep going back to like the conversation aspect of it. Like if it's changing, have an agreement. That contract changes sometimes.
Yeah.
But the fuck it, I speak up for it because ain't nobody's gonna do. Because I've been there before. I still be there sometimes. This what it is. I can't speak. I'm real key on not being the podcast nigga that speaks for all niggas. But I know this works for me, right? To us, it's about freedom sometimes and the pressure we feel, right? So if I'm fucking with said girl, I can do this, this, and this for her. But the minute they start getting clingy or start putting extra pressure, I don't like that feeling. That's uncomfortable. Let me push back, let me pull back and do whatever. If I'm doing said thing for you and you okay with it, but you're still keeping your distance and pull away, that makes me want to push more in the other direction because you're no pressure on my lifestyle.
Right.
And it kind of makes you more like desirable almost. So like I'm pushing into you to try to see what not. But the minute you push back, it's like, oh nah,
I'm good.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
so
that
it's
shit
like,
is a mind fuck.
It is.
You're like, well, he acted like he wanted me. He was saying these things. He was doing these things, and then I give a little, and then this nigga goes. Like,
you know the sick part? In the moment, we might mean that though. Hey, you know how people be saying, that's the one thing that niggas won't say. They be like, oh nah, you lied to me or whatever. Like, nah, listen, we could talk drunk talk all we want, whatever. But like, I don't think it'd be the actual drunk talk or you just like, I mean, some niggas are sick individuals to be perfect, but like, no, if we just had good sex and we just drunk, like anything I said to you the morning after, I meant at that moment. But the thing is, I might not feel like that 5 p.m. next Saturday. And that's where we bump heads. It's like you just saying that, like, nah, I mean it in the moment, but
yeah, when I said it, I meant it.
When I said it, I meant it. But now, I
yeah,
don't
but
feel
what
that way.
relevance does it have if it like now you good on it? Like,
That's why you gotta shut the fuck up.
But it's not malicious though.
You gotta shut the fuck up sometimes, bro.
For sure.
Oh my gosh.
And shutting the fuck up has got to be a lot of places.
It's a superpower almost.
Yeah, trust me, bro.
Silence is power.
I shut up. Bro.
Silence is power.
I shut up a lot of times, bro.
I envy
you
y'all
just
niggas.
wake up. You
Yeah.
just wake up one day and be like, "How did I get here?" It's like, you just shut the fuck up, bro. Like you just gotta shut up sometimes, bro. Just don't talk yourself. I don't have a lot to say, bro. I don't have a lot to say. I don't have a lot to offer to this conversation. You're gonna walk away. I'm gonna walk away thinking, "Damn, this is boring." You're gonna walk away thinking, "Wow, he's mysterious."
Nah,
No, I had nothing to offer you, fam. I don't even want to be here right now.
You got to know when to speak and when to be quiet for sure.
That's a fact.
That's a crazy tightrope to walk though.
It's hard, bro. But it's sometimes necessary. So, all right, true or false? An orgasm and an ejaculation are the same thing for people with penises, for men.
Yes.
What are we talking about?
True or false?
What the fuck?
An orgasm.
What fucking type of
and
question? I'm looking. I'm like, what the fuck type of question
orgasm
was
and
that?
ejaculation are the same
This
thing.
nigga got a sex ed book. What is that with
Somebody say some people say it's not.
Hey, where you get that question
What
from?
do you even mean though, bro?
Orgasm, like when you have an orgasm, right? So for women, when we talk about orgasms for women, right?
Yeah.
Some people say it's different. It's not squirting. It's not. You know what I'm saying? It's different. It's for men. They say it's just when you come. That's an orgasm.
There's different types of orgasms so that you can have. I mean, you
Oh,
can
I
have.
see where we going.
Yeah, like you can have an ejaculation and an orgasm, but you can have an orgasm and not ejaculate too.
Explain that.
That's what
though.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, like you can have like different types of orgasms.
No, how do you as a man? How do you? Y'all going to the butt place, and I don't like this.
I didn't say
no,
anything
she's-
about
What you
it.
talking about? She ain't
Right.
go ahead.
So how you have an orgasm as a man and not ejaculate?
Because it's just like it's the release. It's the release that you're having in your
You
body.
just said it don't. You don't. All right. So let's.
It's a release in your body. It's not a release through your penis.
It's not an outer.
How does that happen?
Yeah.
Any nigga in that room that happened to? No, anybody? You a wild nigga, bro.
Yeah,
How does that
I
happen?
ain't gonna lie there, son. What's that?
You came without coming? Pause.
It's not coming though.
It's not.
coming,
It's
though.
an
an
orgasm.
orgasm.
It's like a release. It's like
Yeah.
a meditation release, right?
Yes.
Yeah, y'all
it's
just
a
more
meditation.
spiritually tapped into the nigga.
Yeah.
All right,
It's,
cool.
it's different. It's not, that's what I was saying. Like
Fuck it.
that's what I was saying. Like
My nigga,
and
if
I
I,
always
didn't,
had that question. Like,
if I didn't come, I didn't come. Pause.
yeah, but did
So if you didn't come, then that means you didn't have an orgasm.
Absolutely.
he don't know?
What's going on
He
here?
doesn't know.
Am I tripping? Like,
He doesn't know, and we
Time
don't
out. Y'all,
know.
are y'all bullshitting right now?
We don't know, bro.
Y'all trolling in this point?
No, this what happens.
How do you, let's talk about women.
You telling me I
first.
can have an orgasm?
So you
without,
don't get happy when you
No,
you,
I'm on to the
An orgasm is a
You telling
release,
me I
bro.
could have an orgasm
coming is
without
releasing.
cum coming out of my penis? That's what
Yes.
you're telling me.
Yes.
How?
That's what she's telling you, bro. That's what she's telling you, dog.
This happened to you?
Yeah.
Oh, you are a different type of nigga, bro.
Yeah,
I knew you was kind of.
Oh my gosh. But why is that bad?
It's not bad. It's just like, what the fuck?
It's the
John don't know his body.
I don't know how to explain it, bro.
I don't know about it.
I mean, you just haven't experienced
John don't know
it
his
yet.
tools. I'm sorry, I don't know his sexual tools.
Yeah.
I'm so perplexed. Right? All right, cool.
It's a thing.
You ever get so happy? You be like, you be getting happy and shit. Like
What happens when you
You just
It's
be.
like
you
a
just,
sense
it's
of-
not.
it's like a
It's
Yeah.
a,
sense of relief.
yeah, it's just a
almost.
release. It's like yeah, it's
Yeah.
a, it's
But
a
it's not-
happiness.
I don't know how to explain it, bro.
Dog,
Yeah.
what?
Without coming.
Say dog, what? Like, all right, fuck it.
Just like
Right,
so.
It's excitement. That's what I'm trying to say. It's excitement.
Can we talk about like the female ejaculation, right? The female orgasm. I'm mixing my words here. Like what? Because a lot of men don't know what it looks like. They don't know what it like. They get it confused with, or it's this, or it's this. When she does this, it's like, what is that? Like, how would you like, for a man who maybe can't recognize what it looks like, what would you tell him to look out for?
Well, I think you have to talk to that partner. Right. You have to talk to that partner about what orgasms look like for that person specifically, because it's different for everybody. What stimulates you? What gets you aroused? You know, what do you like? What do you not like? You know, what usually gets you to the point of orgasm, if that person's ever had one.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Sometimes they've never had one, right? They don't know. So, like, you might be exploring that together. You know what I mean? So, like, it looks different for everybody. I think that even kicks it back to, like, people masturbating. That's when you really learn more about your body of, like, what does an orgasm look like or feel like for me? What is it? Stimulation here more, or is it stimulation here more? You know what I mean? Like,
but do you think like it's different, like when you're doing that by yourself, and then whether there's a partner involved? Because like it might work for you when you're by yourself. This works, but when I'm with a partner, it doesn't work.
It's different, but again, like you have to be playing. You are literally doing the body mapping. You are finding your pleasure points. So like it may be different because there's now somebody else involved, but like, if I like my clit touched a certain way, it doesn't matter if it's me or somebody else doing it. I like it when you're doing it like this. You know what I mean? Or like, I get more aroused. Yeah, I get more aroused when I'm with somebody because I'm physically being touched. But when I'm by myself and I'm masturbating, I still get aroused because I'm watching porn. But it's different. But again, like it adds to the experience.
And music could be some slow music, some music could get you there too.
Absolutely.
So you gotta
absolutely.
There's a couple of songs that get me there. I'll be like, dog, I can't listen to this right now.
What's like music that you like to listen to?
What the fuck is going on?
To get you like in the mood.
Yeah, I got to turn it off.
What kind of music do you like to?
No, it's R&B. It's R&B. It's this girl. She got it's that specific song that she got. No, it's another song.
You don't want to tell us?
No, I ain't telling y'all my shit.
My nigga just told me you got an orgasm without coming. I'm still not like, what are we talking about?
But I think a lot of
you telling her the sex therapist she's wrong.
No, I'm not. No, the fact that niggas is like. So when you jack off, we just talking about masturbation, right? When you jack off, you mean to tell me some nigga out there could be like, I'm good, and it didn't happen? Like, what are we talking about?
Not everybody can ejaculate.
Wow,
that's facts, man. That is facts.
Cool to them, I get it. That's fine for them. But man that can ejaculate, you telling me he has an orgasm without... And you said you've experienced this. Yo, this is... All right. Cool. I'm all for it.
This nigga don't know his body, bro.
It's just like she said, everybody's different, right? Like we all have our
Everybody's
thing,
different. It's not saying that it's going to be like that every time.
Yeah, like it's not going to happen all the time, but it happens. Like it's
just
moments.
Right, even if you
My shit was a moment. I was like, oh, fuck. I was shocked
even
myself.
Even if you had sex, like... 4 or 5 times in a night, right?
That's a lot of fucking.
By the fifth time, you're not gonna have much nut to come out.
That's fact. That's
I'm done after one. But let me ask you a question. We're not doing that. I have no shame in that. We not. Next morning I got you, but the same night is crazy.
Tired,
but what
is going on? Ecstasy fucking for 5 times?
Yeah, I'm not like that's wild. I'm good with all that.
He's on cocaine.
How would you feel if you fucked a guy and the next morning he was like, why you ain't coming? He was like, oh, I came, but I had an orgasm eternally. You taking that the same way?
It's different because I understand.
Exactly.
It's going to be different for me. Some women, that's the benchmark. But, like, again, there are plenty of times that you could have pleasurable sexual experiences and not, like, you're not even having penetration sometimes.
Yeah, it's like a mental. It's a mental.
Again, it's all about, like, being pleasured. Like, if that person didn't orgasm or they didn't come, right, I'm still like, did you enjoy yourself? Did you enjoy the experience?
Oh, for sure.
And that in itself is still something we need to be talking about, the pleasure.
And it's like with food, right? Like you eat some good food, you be like, oh shit. Like it's just like that. Yeah.
There's plenty of other ways to have orgasms that is not sexual related.
Oh, y'all niggas is tapped in.
Yeah, we tapped in, John.
Y'all niggas is tapped in. And I'm the cancer.
Hey,
I'm the cancer here.
John, dab me up. You gonna get there.
It's okay, bro.
When you get there, bro, just tell us, bro. All right.
It's okay.
Clearly my emotions ain't.
So my thing, so like, When you were talking about like you can still having a pleasurable experience and not like having an orgasm or not ejaculating.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much information I'm trying to give here, but fuck it, we're on the
I know you're going, and I agree.
I've had situations. This has happened. It's happened enough times for it to be a thing.
Yeah.
Where I've gone through a full session of sex, never ejaculated, but I've had a fantastic time.
Yes.
Women take it personal though.
They do because we are taught that that's the benchmark that person
Hold on, how many times you say he did that?
enjoyed themselves.
Several. It's happened numerous times.
It's happened to me multiple times. Like, I rarely do I come. I'm not even gassing this. This ain't even. I'm not saying it's just many niggas.
So niggas just
Many
be
men
happy.
better than
Niggas
me.
just be happy.
Nah,
Just,
It's happened mad times.
But I've had mad
For
fun.
real, Mo?
If I come
Had a
and I
ball.
become, I'm Gucci with that, bro.
Oh,
That's
for
a
real?
good. That's a good time.
I thought
for
that
me.
was like a bad thing.
Nah.
I thought that was a bad thing.
Mad times I ain't come to firm.
But for women, that is like
I get
been
a little
taught the
frustrated.
benchmark of like, oh, you brought him to the point that he came. That's the end goal.
No, they shame
But,
us
like,
now.
Again, we don't talk
Rap
enough
music
about
does.
like pleasure or like did they enjoy themselves? Did you enjoy yourself? Because there's plenty of
definitely enjoyed
women
myself.
that like just take it as like, oh, he came and so that's good. Not even thinking about like
Themselves.
I'm about to watch College
themselves or
Game
their
Day. I
own
need you to
pleasure
leave.
or
I don't
you
like
know,
that.
did
I
they
don't like
enjoy
that.
it?
Yeah, I don't like women shame us for like,
I've been shamed for that.
yeah,
before.
for 10 minutes
I don't
like
think
that.
women- yeah, no.
I don't like that. Y'all women got shut. I gotta look at this camera. What camera I'm looking at? Y'all gotta grow up. You gotta grow up. If that man give you 15, he give you a good 15. That's all he had.
15 is long though. And stuff.
Yeah, see,
No funny
see,
shit.
It's not.
see,
Talking about what?
Hold on, wait.
see.
I done had situations. We get back to this.
We go back to that. I didn't get my statement out. Go ahead.
I've been shamed for that before. Like look over, we'll be done or she'll be done, and she'll look over and be like,
Little
"What's
ass
wrong
boy.
with you?"
Little
Hey,
ass
15
boy.
no good, bro.
15 not good.
No, all jokes aside, and I'm not even a quick like.
on.
Most of mine go over 15. Like I'm not a quick tapper, but like 15 is no good.
I
not
mean,
good.
is that including foreplay?
No.
No, it's just
straight
to it.
action.
Straight to it.
I mean, it depends on the partner.
The clock doesn't start with foreplay. Can we all just admit this as men? When foreplay, we're not even counting that.
Why?
I'm counting.
The clock doesn't start then though.
Why is there a clock involved anyway?
No, I'm just saying you can't count that.
The second
I'll
song.
be like this.
The second song counts.
Whoop.
Especially
If
if
the
you a
fourth
nigga,
song count, the fourth sound count.
and if you a nigga
If
that
I
like
came
the
in that fourth sound, that count. That's an hour.
if you a nigga that like
That
the
is a
you can't-
fucking
you can't-
hour.
you
I got a
can't-
playlist.
be
You
like-
gotta chill out.
I'll be like, ready.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Yeah, this shit is a sport.
Let's get this on, man.
Sex to me is a sport.
That clock don't count though. When you doing
It's late at night. I don't even like fucking late at night. It's late at night. Let's get
Are
this
you a
over
morning
with.
guy?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a mid. I like the midday fuck. I like the midday.
Me
Like
too.
yeah, I like the midday.
midday is
Yeah.
fuck.
loud to me.
Yeah.
I love midday.
Midday is insane to me.
Great. To like get you just like over the hump for
Yeah.
work, like got a little
must
bit
work
more
for
It's
pep
energy.
and
It's
stuff.
energy.
You work
Work from home.
Yeah.
For sure.
Work from
Yeah.
home, man.
Yep.
It's
Work
energy.
from home.
It's great.
Fucking at.
Morning
I'm sorry.
guy for
I'm
me,
sorry. Fucking at 3 a.m. is not cool, bro. You're tired.
Yeah,
like,
3. I don't like
you're
to be
tired.
woken up to fuck.
Yeah,
I
you're
be
tired.
like,
You're not getting no sleep. Like
Yeah.
Y'all think about the wrong 3 a.m. There's a 3 a.m. when you
We just
asleep
got
and
home.
somebody's woken up.
that is
and there's a
but
3 a.m.
that sex is great.
There's a 3 a.m. when you listen to slow jam and you know you about to hit and like you just cruising home
Totally.
to the. Is that
Totally.
3
That
But
happens-
if it's 3
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
a.m. and I'm asleep and I just feel this hard dick on my back, I'm like, listen, negative. I don't like to be waking
I
up
don't
like
even.
that.
I'm out of it. I gotta be honest. I'm out of the 4 a.m. fucking. I'm out of it. You know, like it's not gonna happen.
The midday
I
for
gotta
time.
mandate you 2,
Brunch sex.
3.
Give me
Yeah,
that
like
brunch sex.
3. Hey,
Brunch
listen.
hour sex.
Go
Yeah.
have lunch, bro. What are you doing?
You got this toolkit of
Yeah.
of gadgets
She has a
here.
gun. She has a.
Can
Glock
we
gun.
get into some of the things that you have in
Sure.
your?
I want to see the gloves. I never touch a devil and I never will. But I just want to see the gloves. Yeah, that's
Okay,
crazy.
so the gloves
Are
are
from where?
masturbation gloves.
Oh, so
look
you.
like
So we
OJ
have to
gloves.
use them.
And you don't have to use them.
I
but,
might have started using
But
them.
I think
My
it
nails
is
are long.
nice to give like a different pleasurable experience to
Enough
yourself
for
by
Cane her shit real
using
quick.
by using the gloves. So like these ones have like different textures and grooves on them.
Do it vibrate?
They don't.
Okay.
That would be hot though if they did.
Damn, I
That would
should.
be-
I should.
yeah,
Shit, I
amazing.
should make that.
Well,
Oh,
You
Come
look
on,
like
fam.
you look like Cochran right now.
yeah.
the
The OJ's.
But they're super nice because like these are rubber, so like you can use these in the tub, in the shower, or you can just put some lube on them and use them on yourself
What type of lube?
or a partner.
I need to know. I gotta get my lube game
Oh,
up.
I brought some for you.
I gotta get my lube game
So I
up.
brought Uber Lube.
Uber lube. All
Uber
right.
Lube is good. It's very
so bad.
thick.
I hope she's not allergic. That'd be fucked up. You put some lube on the girl. She start breaking
And
out.
I'm so glad that you brought that up because
Yeah.
a lot of people don't ask their partners, are they allergic to latex
Mm-hmm.
or other ingredients for lubricants? Like for me, I have a lot of food allergies, so
Yeah.
it's important for me to talk to my
shit.
partner about what products they want to use.
Facts. That's a fact.
So That's important. Ask your partner about do they have allergies before you use products.
I've been using sheepskin since Brent Fayez put me on
Yo,
that shit.
what?
Shout out
yeah,
to Brent.
so-
Brent put me on that shit.
So the masturbation gloves are great. The weird thing is about them is they only came in right. There was no left-handed
lefties?
gloves.
No,
None for the
Which is
lefties?
weird.
None from the left. For the
I know.
left.
I thought it was kind of weird. I'm like, well, what if I wanted to wear
The
gloves
left
on
is my
both
strong
hands?
hand.
From
and
ambidextrous.
yeah,
Yeah,
the left
right?
is my
So,
strong. That's my.
here,
That's
I'll
why.
pass
That's why I
these
grab a hip
around. Y'all
at.
can.
It's my strong shit.
Have
right
these-
These are unused.
I'm
Right?
about to say, have these been used?
No, they have not. Anything I brought today has not been used.
All right, cool.
Yo, dude, shit.
Those are
Say,
for
dog.
women though.
You never know, yo.
They can be used for men
like the
too,
Black Panther
but it just
joints,
depends,
right?
I guess, on your hand. They only come in one size, so there are some different things that I think they could have done better with the design of like they only came in one size.
these is Black
It was only
Panther
right
joints.
only. And I've only ever seen these with one company. I've never actually seen them anywhere else.
Did they work for you?
Oh, bro.
I didn't use them.
Oh, okay.
I didn't use them because gloves are not like
All right.
I like other
That looks
things.
That looks like an experience, fam.
So I brought this this vibrator. This one is called the Destiny.
The fuck?
I've seen that before.
And so this one,
That look like my fucking hair clipper. What the fuck?
so the thing about the Destiny is it has 3 different features. It licks, sucks, and vibrates.
It's too much.
And
That's
it
a
has
lot. That's a
10
lot.
speeds of each.
Let's
She
just
gonna be
say-
she ain't gonna want to fuck with me after that.
Let's just eliminate men.
I got the Destiny.
That's too much.
But I
got
think
the Destiny,
that,
bro. I ain't
but
fucking
I
with you.
think that men.
Hey, Marcus, shut up, dog.
I think men.
Please turn it up when you make the edit, bro. God, that's
I
funny.
think men really get so
Intimidated.
intimidated.
No,
by-
women
but-
be like shaming us for it.
I do agree with that too. I think women do shame partners about toys, which is ridiculous because all of it again is provided for pleasure, right? Like that's all we're trying to do is increase the pleasure in which we're already having. So like I don't want men to feel like you better give me back
You gonna keep that one?
I'm keeping this for a reason. I'm gonna let you go on.
Okay,
keep that
okay.
You're like, this
I
is my
think
style.
that men should be really knowledgeable about toys because I want
I'm a little bit knowledgeable.
I want men
The
to be knowledgeable about
rose.
toys because one, I don't want you to feel intimidated. I don't want men to feel intimidated by it, but I also want them to understand what a woman may want them to use.
Yeah, I might get that
So
though.
I think it is really important,
Me-
and again, it's just there to increase the pleasure value.
Let me see if they got that on.
So I'm
Amazon.
gonna turn this one on. It's pretty strong,
That shit crazy.
and it has a very strong
you
like.
got a UBS cord to it.
Yes, it does. It has a, look at you,
Oh, you
Mom,
gotta,
the
you
chargers
gotta,
and
you gotta
stuff.
charge that joint?
So yeah, so
not
I've already
battery?
charged all the toys that we're gonna pass around today.
Like you can wash cars with it.
So this
The
one is
wheels.
very strong. The suck feature,
Oh my god. Oh,
Yeah.
how much is that?
it's very strong.
How much is
Man,
that?
we just food out here.
Okay.
How much is that?
So and it has the tongue here, and then this part is the suction, and the whole
Sarah's
thing
bottle.
vibrates. Okay, so it's
That
very.
motherfucker.
So I'm gonna pass it around.
No, this is
so
serious,
strong.
You know why I kept this?
I feel like I'm about to cut my hair.
You know why I kept this?
Why?
Because this finger is insane. The terrain on this motherfucker? Like, what's going on here, bro? Just for this finger.
So this is just the only part that's used.
That shit is.
Nobody's
I
going.
mean,
That
unless you
shit-
want the. I mean, you can use whatever
That shit
part
sound
you
like
want.
a PS5 controller.
But it's very but mostly this part is what people would use, and they would put this anywhere they want.
Okay.
Because it's not on a toy like that. You don't just have to put it on
shit.
your clit. You can put that on your nipples,
Nipples, yep.
right? Like anybody
Oh,
can
yeah,
put it
this
on
a-
their
this for
nipples.
the
You can put it
nipple?
on your anus. You could, yeah.
You could throw this.
This
You could.
pinky's wild. Too.
This is crazy.
This is.
But again, they're all soft though.
So if I pull, if we about to go in the house and I pull this out in the car,
But it still gives you that texture even.
yeah,
on
this
your
is
strap.
wild. Yeah, I'm about to cop this.
Oh.
Somebody's in trouble. She's gonna be real proud of me. Whoa, you got that? Oh,
Interesting.
Yeah, so that one's very strong. So that's today.
Josh, no. Like, come on, bro. This shit is sick, bro.
Look at the grip on it, right? Look at the grip on the side.
This is going on, bro. Where my camera at? These demon toys, y'all.
that's crazy.
Use this.
I hope it's not expensive. Yeah, I'm gonna cop one.
Oh, I'll send you the link. I'll
Okay, I
send you the
got
link.
you. I got
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Okay.
She gonna be proud of me. She gonna be proud of me.
Okay.
She like, what the fuck is
Man, you
that?
expect look at this joint, right? No, seriously, look at Nas, right? You expect
pla-
nigga,
it's-
and then
it's a
we
cheat
supposed to
code.
Follow this up.
It's a cheat
You can
code.
use it together.
We supposed to follow this up.
Yes.
Bro, you can't even see the shit. It's moving so fast. It's like one blur.
It's on her body, John. What would you want to see?
All right, bro, here you go.
What you want, a camera?
But guess what though? Like nothing can replace the feeling of a real mouth.
See?
You know what I mean? Or
Is that true?
Yes, because guess what? This is a small part.
Yeah.
Somebody's mouth can go over your entire clit.
The Roses got something to say about all this.
I have mixed feelings about the rose.
heard it's
I
like-
don't think it's the best toy.
I heard it's not
Yeah,
all we think
I mean,
it is.
like this toy to me is what
I'm
really
copping that
is,
shit.
is much better than the rose.
I'm copping that.
This sucks.
This will never air. This part will never, because we can't get the superior to the Rose.
This sucks feature is way stronger, I think.
I'm copping that.
We're not playing this on the air.
I'm copping
They'll
that,
never hear
Jennifer.
this. We're going to block it out. It's never
I'm
gonna
copping that, Jennifer.
You know what I think, honestly, though? Is like for
I'ma slide to it like some
for the-
spades.
For the average man that's like not into the thing, not into the toy, he just want to have like.
You just
the
want to
straight up
yammer
say he
shit,
doesn't-
man.
I feel
Gotta
like
ease up on that.
eventually
Ease with
you're
the
gonna have
toys.
no choice. But
You gotta have a toolbox.
to introduce
No, I'm
your
fucking with
kid
toys. I'm cool with the toys.
because.
Definitely.
How often? How you just gonna? Especially if you with the same woman, you just gonna keep doing
Keep
the same
yamming
thing
her, bro?
every
No.
single-
That shit
it's
get
not gonna
boring.
work,
Again, like there are so many other toys too that like are for both partners. You know what I mean? And I think that men don't give themselves enough room to find out about like the toys that they have for men. Have anybody seen the Guac 3000? Oh my
Okay,
god!
we stop.
Yeah,
All right.
that thing is crazy.
Stop, time out. This is where the flag is.
This nigga Marcus is so happy.
And this is not judging. This is not judging Marcus at all. If that's your vibe, that's your vibe.
Nigga
Like, let's be real, right?
Nigga like that.
Oh, you really? Yeah, I told you he's a wild nigga. Listen, we can't use those.
Why?
I can't speak
My
for
fault,
you
y'all.
because you're sexually liberated and open.
Okay.
98.9% of the girls I fuck with, if
Mm-hmm.
they come in my house and see a Gog 3000, they're going to leave.
I don't think
gon-
so.
I know. I know so.
Really?
Put it on Instagram. Do the poll.
Because they're intimidated?
No, because they're like, what the fuck are you on that you have that? And they're going to shame us. I swear to God, I'm not lying.
that's
Like,
something
They ain't gonna shame me.
I think that is a good conversation to have though, because I think that one, enough women don't know about the,
Oh,
the
shit.
fact, but also about like shaming men about toys or sex in the way that they do it is so hurtful, and that's something I have
And
a big
childish,
problem
too.
with, and that's something I talk about in my own workshop is making sure that women are not shaming their partner, because I don't think any partners should shame each other.
Can we be real? I
But-
feel some type of way about it too. Cause my nigga, it's like it's never that. You gotta break out the Gog.
So, I mean, guess what? It's better than having somebody around that one that you don't really like or want to engage with, or doesn't really give that good grade of head.
Amen.
That's crazy though.
Amen.
How you feel about toys in general, like women?
Yeah, I was about to say.
with their
I
kids?
feel like
women-
you
Get
guys
on
don't
him. Get on him. I'm with the
With women, I'm with.
5,000.
With women, I'm with it 100%. But let's be real. If let's dive a little deeper. If with niggas like, it took us a while to feel proud about or not feel bad about beating on. I mean, keep it a stack. I think we all went through that little phase.
I used to be proud of
We
that
used to
shit.
like, damn, I just beat my.
I used to
blah, blah,
fucking
blah.
be proud of that
If
shit.
I use a
I used to
Gog,
announce it.
that's bro. Like, I really gotta look at myself in the mirror the next morning. Like, bro, you turned.
John,
to
you're
this
scared
toy.
of yourself.
You
It's
know my
all right.
first introduction to women with toys, bro.
Are you telling me you used it? Nah, stop.
No, I'm
Fuck
not.
it.
I'm
We going,
not.
I'm about to say, let's
No,
not
no,
that
no, no.
because you. All right,
This
cool.
my first introduction to like toys dealing with women. I was with a woman, and it was the morning after. I rolled over to like pick up my clothes. Right, I was feeling around the side. So we all been here before.
She had that shit
I'm
on the
feeling
side.
around to find my clothes so I can make my exit. And I grab a toy.
Ah,
And I was like, yo, what the fuck is this, dog? And I had to I said, nah, yeah, I'm going.
I'm cool with that shit.
But I didn't like the fact that it was on the floor. I couldn't
oh yeah,
find my
that's
drawers.
not a good
That's cool.
thing.
It's like
You
a-
want things to all be hygienic. Yeah,
Why is it on the floor?
right.
Can I ask you a question? Because you said
Next to my
you're
drawers.
liberated. If you walk in the niggas,
She just used it. That's why.
you go on date
Probably.
with a nigga. You
there's
walked
no
in the niggas room.
Yeah.
She went right to the bathroom.
Clearly,
He said,
right?
put your coat away. You happen to go into the wrong closet. You find the fucking doll in the closet. You cool with this?
Fuck dog in the
Yes.
closet.
I'm
yeah, you
different. Yeah, I'm in a different state.
90% of people that I know is leaving.
I mean, but why?
If the
Again,
fallen doll falls out with the pussy master joint,
but like what? But
Pussy
again, like
master.
I'm not. For me, I'm not gonna be upset that somebody has something that's safe.
No.
Something they've been able to practice on,
Uh-huh.
and something that
That's what the shit is for.
Right.
But in our culture, what is it called?
Weird.
Come on, stop. Like, it will make TMZ if fucking, give me a popular person. If a Kardashian went in Cameron's house and the fucking dog came out, we bidding for weeks off that shit.
That'd be the funniest shit. I think Cam got some shit in his house.
I mean, there would be some shame around it for sure because, like, it's different than what the sex norm is, right? But in a lot of conversations, a lot of people have different things out there. But again, because someone shamed them about it, they're afraid to talk about it. But in my circle of friends, those things are very normal because we want people to, one, have pleasurable experiences, whether you have a partner or not, but also want you to be safe. You know, I would much rather some person that I'm dating have a sex doll or a pocket pussy or something like that they're using than have
pocket pussy.
Then have 50 bitches that they're fucking, and I don't know if they're using condoms or not.
That's right. Amen.
You know what I mean?
Amen.
So,
amen.
like,
Amen.
I would much rather have that.
Clap it up for the pocket pussy.
I need a Jada Fire pocket
They've
pussy.
come a long way.
I need a Jada Fire pocket pussy.
They've come a long way. I actually didn't bring one today, but
Yo, what's up?
they've
You got
come a long
professional, my
way.
nigga? Like,
Deviant.
what's going on over here?
Let's go, Marcus. Let's go, Marcus.
You are a sexual deviant, my nigga. Like,
Let's go, Marcus.
Yes, they are.
Nigga, Marcus he just got his new one this week. Let's go, Marcus.
All right, so I did bring something for
That's
anyone
crazy.
that
That
might
look like
be
headphones.
in a relationship, okay?
That's crazy.
So these toys are designed to go in your panties.
Yeah.
It's for women. So
this one we're talking about, the
they're
remote control joint?
So
Yeah.
but it's better than a remote control because these two are actually Bluetooth accessible.
Oh, shit.
So you can connect them.
Give me
So
an
these are Satisfyer vibrators, and you can download the Satisfyer app on your phone, connect it, and then you can control it through your phone. But you can change the wave pattern, the vibration
get it.
I've
pattern,
been dying to do this.
how
I
long,
ain't gonna lie, I've been dying to
and
do this.
they connect to music.
Oh,
So you can it
perfect.
can
That's
also
perfect.
vibrate to the beat of the song.
That's
Perfect.
It's getting a little too crazy.
Nah,
That's
I'm with
perfect.
that.
I'm with
Nah,
this.
the music-
I'm with it.
I've been playing grinding.
super
Choosing
with
an
it.
Song for them to
instrumental.
get-
I'm playing peacocking her shit.
Playing a grinding
Chromosome.
It's very
Playing
fun for
Chromosome
a
and
date
shit.
night, or if you work from home.
I'm
Very
I'm
fun.
playing sticky.
So this
playing
one,
You know, sticky.
this
I'm
one
playing
doesn't
Thrones
have
of the
nearly as much vibration. This one has a double motor.
Oh, so
That's what I'm
is
talking about.
these are two separate.
These are two separate
I
ones.
thought it was
remote
like the
control.
controller.
No.
Where's
These
the
are two
controller
separate
at?
ones.
Oh, it's from your phone.
Yeah, they're on your phone, but I also have the remotes.
How
too.
much is this?
Okay.
I
You
think
gonna
this
send
one
the link?
was only like 60, and this one I think might be like 40.
That's been my dream.
I need that.
Yeah,
I need
so I'm
that
gonna
link,
turn the two on so you can feel the difference.
Okay.
too. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Let's get turned up at the restaurant.
Oh, wow.
You're gonna be sick when you know how sticky it.
Yo, Frisco's going crazy, bro.
This ain't gonna play Drake in this joint. This is crazy.
This is crazy.
That's
Oh, my
crazy.
phone. I feel like somebody calling me.
Yeah.
You wanna feel
I
this?
think the shame is more so in our community, not just the male versus women thing. I think the black community.
No, that's what
this
I meant.
shit
I
sound
said
like my
when I said the
phone.
culture, I meant that. Like that's us.
This is crazy.
They encourage
This the one with this shit, though.
they
We
be
can
encouraging their
turn up.
kids to be nasty. They be like, girl, you better hold on to that husband. You better do
yeah.
X, Y, and Z.
I feel like Magneto.
This nigga's a kid, bro. This nigga's a
I
kid,
feel like
bro.
Magneto. I feel like Magneto.
We could do this.
Okay, so
I'm not touching that.
Now we get wild, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not fucking with that.
As soon as the orb start coming out, we
Yeah, I seen them
I
shapes.
feel like I want to change the channel.
you
know
can
what
turn
them
it
shits
up or
like?
turn it down though.
Oh, no.
Them shits look like my
Remember the VR
AirPods.
blasters when you was young?
Yeah.
The joints that had the,
Yeah.
the laser
Yeah.
tag joint? Damn, man.
Yeah, I'm about to get that.
All right, so what I heard just now was some
Shaming.
some shaming and some judgment about like just because I have a dildo but it's glass, that should be the biggest thing, and not that it's
It's just a wild shape.
shaped
a
as a
wild-
penis.
Yeah, that kind of
That looks
that's where it
crazy.
kind
I never seen some shit like that, Jennifer. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so glass dildos are something a lot of people don't talk about, but they are a dildo that you put in the freezer. So the coldness and the hardness of it does wonders for the vagina.
Why the freezer again? Let's
Because it's temperature change. So it's it's like the contrast of a cold, hard object being in your warm, wet vagina.
and that creates something.
It's orgasmic, honestly.
yeah,
It's very orgasmic.
Damn,
So I stick that in the freezer.
Yeah.
Do it come with a
So when
case?
my homies come through to get when they come through to get the bourbon, and I tell them to go to the fridge and that pop out, what am I supposed to do?
Put it in the case.
Mind your
Own
business.
it. Why can't you just own it?
Get
Why
the
is there-
fucking ice, nigga.
Yeah, right.
It's your house,
It's your
dog.
fucking house. Get your fucking
Sounds
ice.
like you're worried of judgment.
Yes, he
No
is.
shaming, no
He
shaming, but I
is.
live in no shaming. If I ever go to one of your house for football Sunday and I go to the cooler to get the 2 Qs for my JMO and the dildo pop out, we don't have to talk, my G.
not having no
if
talk.
you
Mind your
married,
fucking-
we good.
Mind
If
your
you
fucking
single, we
business.
gotta
You're not
have
having
talk.
no talk.
First of all,
If I run out of ice,
Yeah.
glad it's in there.
The fuck?
You think I'm sticking?
No.
Hey, yo,
Going on.
wild nigga, bro.
okay, so wait, so let me say this.
Don't go in that freezer. I tell you, don't go in
Yeah,
that freezer.
don't go in that.
Go in
freezer,
the, it's in the
right?
corner. It's in the cup for a reason.
Okay, so
It's
I
my
think,
freak freezer.
I think you asked a good question.
freezer.
This is coming in case. So the ones I have didn't come in a case. I don't know about now. Maybe
I
they
need a
do.
case.
But
These
most
niggas
of
are
the
sickos.
but what I tell people is like you always clean them after use, but also put them in like a Ziploc bag. You
Yeah,
put them in a
yeah.
freezer bag, then put it in the freezer. I mean, if you have the luxury to have 2 different freezers, you could keep toys in the other one, but but you put it in the freezer. It's very orgasmic. But again, these are conversations you need
So-
to have with your partner beforehand to see if that's something that
I'm
they like or
immature.
be
I'm
interested
immature.
in.
You are.
Fuck it. Because
So
if
you-
I have a Ziploc, somebody got a glass dildo in a Ziploc. No, I'm fucking. I'm
So
immature,
you use
bro.
that
I'm not
doing
doing that.
when you
I dare
with your
you.
partner. With your partner, you use that doing with your partner at the time.
Yo, that's insane.
I mean, you could very well be penetrating them with this while giving that person head.
Bet.
You could even for just for foreplay purposes, you could just
Just throw
literally
that
have
in
her.
there?
No.
It's like, no.
No, have her lay on the bed and you're just taking it and rubbing it
I'm not doing
over
all
her
that.
body.
I'm with that.
Seeing the
I'm
reaction.
with that.
I'm with
Seeing the
I'm fucking with
reaction,
you.
getting the nipples hard, right? Like just
Start
seeing
with the
how-
nipple though. Okay.
See, I mean, you could take. I mean, some guys really get off seeing their girl choke on a dildo or choke on another dick. So you could put it in her mouth.
I'm cool with
Then
all
move
that.
it down her body. Like there are different things that you could do to just get the body warmed up and stimulated.
I'm 100% cool
Go
with
ahead,
that. It's
talk
just,
about
it's just,
it.
it's just a
Let
discussion.
Marcus
No,
talk.
I'm cool.
About the word pegging off y'all show. So y'all know.
It wasn't
I
us.
hate
It was
that
her.
episode. Yeah, I hated that fucking episode.
by the
Don't
way,
fucking
by the way,
remind me of
by the
that
way.
episode. I hated that.
No,
episode.
we're not. That's crazy.
I
But
hated
listen,
that episode.
I'm cool with that. I'm just saying, like, as cool as I am with that, I absolutely like. Just like you have if you have a child, you can own a weapon to protect your home. The child better not find a weapon in the safe or nowhere. And if
Right.
he does, that's irresponsible parenting. I'm fully cool with a nigga having that. But my nigga, on my
You don't
mother,
want it to be in the
if I
freezer
go
at
to
their
get
house?
something and I see a glass dildo in a Ziploc bag, we gotta talk.
Talk
So-
about what though?
Mind your fucking
How they
business.
using it? That's what you want to talk about?
mind
I'm
your
supposed to grab a
business.
Miller Lite and it's a Ziploc.
Why would you go? No.
Hey, bro, y'all niggas is crazy. Look, y'all have responsibilities. Keep it from the dogs. That's all.
Oh my
Keep it
God.
shit.
Keep
Mind
from
y'all
the
fucking
So nobody
business.
wants to
This is
hold
how
the-
why
the
niggas don't get invited to the
glass
house.
I take your word on it, bro. Nah.
You can at least see how heavy it is.
I have you.
And they all look. They all are very different.
Glass got hearts on it though.
No, hold
I
on.
just like the ones with the hearts. I have different ones that
Hey, don't
have
take it back
different.
yet. Don't take it back yet.
I have different
Make
ones.
him hold it again.
That's crazy.
I have different
It's okay.
glass dildos that have
hold it
different
again.
grooves on them, and they're different colors and things like that. But I mean, glass dildos are something that are amazing, and anyone that I know that's actually used one, they had a very good experience.
What's the embroidery
I
on
seen a
it?
glass butt plug though.
What's the embroidery on it?
It's just hearts.
It's hearts.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just hearts.
Are they raised?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can feel it.
No, I'm absolutely not. But I hear you.
Gosh,
I hear you.
we're gonna try to get you.
No, I would do that in my
sex level.
This is what you don't know.
need
In
to
the
come
privacy
see
of my
you.
own,
Yeah.
He
in
need
the
to
privacy of
come
my
see
own
you.
home, I would do that.
but not on camera.
But this nigga's sick. He'll make it a clip. I've been
Oh,
on
my.
in his like you just
Jennifer,
crazy.
can I ask
bro.
you a question?
Sure.
How does a couple end up in your office?
They've had probably some difficulty or questions, or concerns within their intimacy at home, right? They've had some talks or conversations. And so they're like, all right, we need to go to a therapist or a sex therapist to kind of talk it out or have a third party there to be able to really help us navigate what we're trying to accomplish. So, lots of people come to me different ways. They either look me up on Instagram or they look me up on Psychology Today or by referral, and they can just book an appointment to see me.
Do you see individuals or couples specific?
I see individuals and couples and families too.
Family. Okay.
Oh,
So
wow.
let me ask you another question. Like, what do you think is like when you in all your experience? What's like the number one complaint that men have, and the number one complaint that women have when it comes to like just sexual experiences in general?
Yeah, I think women's biggest complaint is my partner's trying to make me do all these things that I don't really want to do. So they feel very pressured. And as we're talking and unpacking during the sessions, I'm finding out more about, like, they haven't really talked about sexual history. They haven't really talked about if the other person might have had some sexual trauma, and that's why they don't want to do something. Or, you know, like, again, how we were talking about sex education, for some people had this strong religious upbringing that now, like, I was told for so long I couldn't do these things. It was a sin. And now I'm in a relationship or I'm married and you're telling me I need to do these things to keep my partner. It's this huge contrast that they just, like, hadn't worked through yet.
Is there a fix for that, though? Especially when that dug in?
Yeah, I mean, in therapy, we will unpack all of that and peel back the layers. Because we're sorting out what's your hardcore values, right? Versus, like, what is it that you want to be doing, or what do you believe, or who are you now, right? Because who we were at the core when we were getting that information, who we going to be at now, who we are now. So it's just about, like, helping that person to really find their voice, but also their sexual identity.
Okay. A lot of people don't know their sexual identity.
No, definitely not.
What would you say is men's biggest complaint or issue?
Two things. One, I've seen a big trend over the last few years of men being with female partners that just are uninterested in having sex. Men are wanting to have sex way more than the female partners.
Really?
And so, like, they're like, I want to have sex more, but she's, like, not interested, right? Or it's like, I want her to be, I mean, a big thing is head. A lot of black women don't like to give head.
Still?
Yeah.
I thought we talked. Did we talk
I
about
don't know what era we in right now. But
Please grow up.
I would automatically. There's no way you can't tell me that's a me problem.
Now I need to come see you.
Like
I'm
my
frustrated. I'm sweating off that
partner doesn't want to have sex, or she's like cool on having sex.
don't
I'm
wanna give me the
instantly
sloppy.
blaming myself.
There's, I mean, and those are the reasons why people would come to talk to me, right? It's like, you're feeling that, right? But she's like, I don't know what to do. Things just changed for me, and I'm just not interested. So, like, those are the things that we're sorting out in couples therapy.
You know what that sounds like to me, though, right?
What?
As a heterosexual black man, when you tell me that, you know what that sounds like to me, right? My partner came to me. We've been good. We've been fine. And now she tells me suddenly she don't want to have sex with me. Like, she doesn't.
She's
She
fucking
lost
somebody
the
else?
nigga, what? All day in America?
No, there's so many more things.
I'm not saying. I'm saying that's how we
that's how you think.
compartmentalize that.
But again, like, and that's why I'm glad that to see there's such an increase of black and brown people coming to therapy now, because I'm able to blow all that out the water, right? Like, no, we have to talk. There are some other factors here that you may not be communicating to your partner because, one, they feel shameful about it, or two, there's just something biologically happening, right? Like, there's so many times that I'm sending people to get hormonal testing, you know, just because women's bodies are going through a lot. If you just had a child, your hormone levels are
That's a
different.
fact. That's a
If
big
you're going
fact.
through perimenopause, menopause, if you're on medication, a lot of people don't realize that a lot of medications lower your libido.
Okay.
Or people during the pandemic were on antidepressants. That absolutely will tank your
Kill
libido.
your sex drive.
Yeah, and so, like, those things are conversations that we have to have of why your partner may not be interested in having sex. It may have nothing to do with you.
I got some shit for you. I had a gallon of water. I got to use, but I swear to God, watch this. I got some shit for you though. Hold on, keep it right here.
What is like what strategies do you put in place to, like, help, like, people who have these issues? Like, is it like we come to a session, I tell you, you give me your issue, we talk through it, and then I give you, like, is there like homework?
Absolutely.
What would homework look like?
It depends on the couple, but I give all different types of homework assignments. I mean, sometimes it's just like people are so busy, they haven't carved out the time to have, like, a date night. And I'm like, you guys are going to have some time of being connected. Otherwise, you're not going to get to the point of having intimacy. We got to just start with, like,
The relationship is over.
making time together, you know? So that might be my homework assignment of, like, have a date night, but take no phones.
That's the type of date night I like. No
Yeah.
phones.
How do you feel about, like, planned sex?
I think for some
Scheduling.
people, it has to happen in order for it to become more organic initially. Yeah. Because for different, especially people with kids, it gets very tricky.
It's difficult.
It's difficult, so you have to plan it. And it's not so much of, like, planned or scheduled sex of, like, okay, at 8 o'clock, we're going to do it when the kids go to sleep. It's more of, like, I encourage my clients, I'm like, y'all got time, take a sick day together. Take 6 days the same day, so that way y'all can have all day to be at home while the kids are at school or at daycare.
Midday.
You know what I mean? So like that's planned, right? Like that's planned sex. But for some people, yeah, they have to put in the schedule of like, hey, like we're not gonna go more than 2 weeks, you know, of not having sex. So we have to put it on the calendar.
Oof. Man,
have you ever been in a session? Because you the expert. Have you ever been in a session where you knew it was outside shit going on?
Yes.
Like, boom, in that moment, whether man or female, do you tell them like when you know when you
if I have had a couple, well, I've had when I've had a couple and I've met with one of the, you know, partners at some point individually, whatever they tell me, that is still protected by HIPAA. Okay. So I can't bring that into the couple session
not that, because that I understand.
Okay.
But have you ever been like listening to a couple's like whatever their disagreement is, and then you know already, like they haven't been honest with you and they haven't come forthcoming, but you know off the rip, like, okay, it's outside dick going on, or outside pussy. How do you respond to that when you know for a fact you've already in your discernment
I'm
that's the
not
case?
calling that out because that's not the purpose of what's happening there. I have to continue to encourage them to be honest about, you know, I'm feeling like there might be something that is unsaid right now. Like, is there anything that we want to share or bring up that could help move us further along in this process? Like, I will phrase it like that, giving that person the opportunity. But if I truly feel like somebody is cheating, I will ask to have an individual with that person to see where they're at, and then I will call it out. And I'm like,
if they deny though, like if
they deny, I can't say anything. I can't go any further on it. But if they say yes, which I have had people do, then I'm like, is this something that you feel like you're going to bring up at some point during the couple session? Because if you are, let's navigate that together of how you would bring it up. What can I do to support you? What we will do to actually create the space for that conversation to come up. Because that's a lot of times where people don't say that, like, yeah, I have cheated or I have hooked up with somebody, because they're afraid of the reaction and response. Yeah. But I want therapy to always feel like a safe space for people to be able to do that.
So part 2, right, to that, the build off. If you get in a situation where a girl, you got them in therapy, and the girl just like, she be honest with you for coming like, man, this nigga just ain't hitting it. Like, I fuck this other nigga, he just slanging way better than good. What's your, you go back into that session, what you doing? You go right back in that session, and you know, the nigga, let's say you meet with them both individually.
Yeah.
Girl tells you that, nigga tells you, man, I'm in love with her, I really want this to work, I'm trying to, but when you get them back together, what's your...
I feel like he sound like he's the nigga.
I've never been that nigga.
I have to go in still being neutral, of just focusing on what their goals are. Yes, do I have this information from both sessions? Sure. But I'm asking, like, how can we be honest about where we are currently in this sexual relationship and where is it that we're going? Because it's always got to be the setup of like, where are we at now and where are we going? So that creates me to open the door. And a lot of times when I'm having those individual sessions, I'm saying, I'm going to open the door for you in the session. It's up to you to walk through it.
Yeah. Got you.
You know what I mean? So I will set it up, but you got to bring it home.
And just to, I don't really want to do it. Just respond to that. You know what I'm saying? What Roy just said. I've never been I just really want to know. I was asking you more about your job because I want to know your job point. Because honestly, I think
all you gotta do is get John.
No, it's not even that. Just me personally, I just think like, bro, it's so many other factors that go. When you on a different, like, we 30 plus, right? So like people is like, I would think fucking with some type of purpose, right? Even if we just. That sounds crazy. Even if we just playing or whatever the case may be, or we not seriously fucking with a purpose. So like, but I think it's so many other factors that go into that these days. It's like you think a girl on you just cut, but it might be, you know what I mean? It's different. It's different. So I never just, I just want to know what you, in your situation, you ever been in pressure cooker, like where you like, what's the worst situation you been in that moment where you like, all right, when you had a Mr. Crab meme moment when shit's spinning and you like, I don't know what to do here because this shit just threw me left.
I mean, I've had lots of moments like that, but I have to like quickly get back in the moment of like, okay, how can we be? This is honest. These are people's lives, so like I have to be present. Of like, okay, that was very big what you just said there. Let's take a moment to just sit on that, right? All of us, let's take a moment to sit with that, right? And then kind of asking the other partner, like, well, how did you feel about what that person just said? You know, or do you have a response to it? You know, just trying to hold space for everything that was just said.
You still gotta be professional.
Absolutely.
But after the session, you'd be like, holy
I'd be like,
shit.
oh my God, I can't believe that shit just happened. You know, like there's definitely been times like during the pandemic, I had a couple that I had been seeing. And there was just something. I've been in this game for 11 years, so like my gut instinct is usually spot on. And there was a moment during the session I was like, I don't think these people are in love with each other anymore.
Facts. I know that happens.
And I was like, I couldn't ask that in the session because I knew that neither one of them would have been honest.
Yeah.
And I had separate sessions, and both of them said, I'm not in love with them anymore.
So boom, what you do?
So I was like, okay. So I gave each of them a homework assignment, and I asked for them to bring it back to the session. Okay. The husband sent me an email the next day and was like, I did the homework assignment and I got all my answers and I'm going to ask her for a divorce during the next session. And I was like, whoa, hold on. Like,
how did you
he was fed up.
I didn't feel guilty, but I was like, holy shit, like this is moving quick.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, hold on. Like, let's sleep on it. Like, let's talk about it. So I was like,
it was your assignment.
I was like, I know.
I'm done with her.
I was like,
she didn't answer the questions.
I was like, let's have a conversation about this before you decide to like go through with this, and I wanted to make sure he was really sure because again, like this is people's lives, and so I wanted him to be extra sure
what the girl
this is what he wanted to do. And the crazy thing is, because neither one were in love, when he brought it up and said he wanted a divorce, she was just like, oh my God, me too. And they just sat there and just held each other and was like, we're gonna be fine now. And I was just like, wow. But like inside, I was like,
it was that bad where you could hold each other and be like, we got like, yo, what?
That's magic. That's real. Nah,
right?
that's
Getting
real.
divorced,
That's
we could
real.
hold each other and
but
be
like you have to think about it, like when you've been
how
with
miserable was they to even get to that point?
Again, like you have to think when you've had a life with somebody for so long, but you still respect them as a person, even though they don't fit you as a partner, you still respect them as a person. And you're like, I just want the best for you, even if that's not for us.
Listen, I just got out of a long joint, right? Pause. I'm not hearing it. Like we never would have held and consoled. Like we like, you know what I mean?
Maybe it was too much. Maybe
Did you lose respect for her?
No, and I should have, but we listen. We still cordial, but it's like it's never to that point where we can like, yo, if you break up, if you get a nah, time out, stop. If you get a divorce with your partner and y'all console each other off separating and hugging each other, y'all had a different level of miserable in that. It's no way that shit was.
But again, like the beautiful thing about these particular people is they loved each other as friends.
That's what
always.
it was. That's how I'm feeling.
Like no matter if the marriage part didn't work out, they loved each other as friends, and that was the biggest point for them of like, will we still be able to maintain a friendship? Because I don't want to lose you in my life, even though I'm losing you as a partner, which they didn't really like each other as partners. I still want you to be my friend.
Can you imagine how shit their relationship had to be to get to that point, though?
Nah, they probably.
I'm glad to be the vessel that helped them figure it out.
I'm glad you are. You magical.
At their peak, it was probably
magical,
beautiful. But were they like?
It was white. It was black. They had
I am not going to identify that.
She's a therapist. She can't give you that.
Yeah, I'm not going to identify that at all.
Here's some random.
Sounds black.
Here's some
Sounds
random stats.
Okay.
I want you to kind of address them. 64% of women report having an orgasm during a sexual event, while 85% of men do. Do you think that's about
Wait,
accurate?
can you repeat that?
64% of women have orgasms. 85% of men do.
I think false about women, true about men.
I think the women's number is less.
Hell yeah. It's usually like 75% ain't never had one.
Never?
Yeah.
Have never?
The number usually way higher than not having.
Is it because women be lying?
I do. I think it is because of lying, but I also think like they just don't. They're not as in tune with their bodies.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to sex education of like, in sex education, there's 5 things that we are never taught and talk about, and orgasms is one of them.
Absolutely.
We don't talk about orgasms, masturbation, anal, oral, or pleasure. So when are they supposed to learn about that?
You're right. Can't learn it from porn. That ain't gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
That ain't gonna do it.
Right. So so most of the time it's I think that I don't know where that stat came from, but I think it's a lot lower than that.
1 in 4 men seek medical help for erectile dysfunction under the age of 40.
True.
Shout out to Honey Pat.
Shout out to Blue Chew.
1 in 4 is under 40.
Gotta start taking Tonka.
Again, it's a number of reasons though. Again, like a lot of people were put on different medications during the pandemic that causes erectile dysfunction. People never think about, but a lot of our military that come back have PTSD. They have depression. They have been injured during service. those all contribute to erectile dysfunction numbers as well. And then people that have cancer, you're going through chemo and things like that, that impacts it. People that have different disabilities, all that shit rolls into.
I can't fault you, bro. If you've been through chemo, I can't fault you for that.
You know what I mean? There's lots of different ways of how people have erectile dysfunction.
Yeah.
I mean, alcoholism is a big thing of sometimes why people can't have an erection.
Word?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Alcohol has never cost me. Like,
Oh no,
But not
for
you,
sure.
but for some people.
Alcohol.
Alcoholics.
Yeah.
if you, real quick, I know you about to say
What?
Then that I know about, not from personally, but just I've never done coke in my life. Swear Mariah to
Oh my
God.
gosh.
I've done some shit. Now I've done Molly, but I've never done coke. But listen, and Molly dick is a real thing, but that's neither here nor there. Right. No, I'm serious. That's a real thing.
Go, John, please.
Right hand of God though. So if I'm gonna ask you a specific question, right? What would you tell somebody that if somebody had like a person, right? I can feel Ab staring at me too. If somebody had a person that you know is no good for you, right? So like y'all can't be together, right? But the sex was top tier, like elite. Like you still think about that person, and you try not to compare others to that person. How do you advise that person to get over it? This person is me.
I was about to say.
I'm not even
I
lying.
told y'all, bro.
How
This sounds like a question that goes on an invoice. Like,
Send him the invoice, please.
how would you tell that person to get over it?
This nigga's having
No, I'm being honest. She's a therapist. This is free right now. I'm taking bang for my buck.
that is
Not on
something
the
you,
show.
you definitely
Book her.
have to unpack
I'm a
in
booker, John.
therapy, right? You have to unpack in therapy.
Bring somebody
But
with
like
you.
you have to kind of detach yourself of that person was only giving you a very small fraction of actually what you need.
That's facts.
You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like the 80-20 rule, right? It's like, well, this other person is giving you all the other things. Because, like, even though sex is great and phenomenal and it may have been with that person, that's still a very small part of your life or day, right? Compared to all the other things that the other person is giving you.
For sure.
So it's like, all right, so if you, and what is it to say, like, well, I want to work on making sure I can have that kind of sex with this person?
Yeah, I feel you.
You know, like, that's why people come to therapy. They can work on that or
Yeah.
get a sex coach.
We had a conversation on this show a couple weeks ago about like kind of like grooming, not grooming, but like kind of
Yeah, grooming is a crazy
grooming is
word.
a wild word.
Yeah, I'm 20.
But kind of like molding your partner into the sexual, to have the sexual, give you the sexual experience that you're used to. Some of my co-hosts and friends think that that's not ever gonna work, right?
No,
It's
it's
just
got to
like,
be in you.
it's got to be like, oh, if you, that's who
Can we keep
you
the
are.
conversation 100 though?
Yeah.
100 all the way across the board?
I don't even remember the
She's
conversation.
she's cool enough to keep it 100. This how it happened, right?
I ain't wrong.
We talked about I said I brought up that the conversation was like, what if you meet a good girl and she's whatever and I made the comment that I need them nasty. And he's like, what that mean? Like you gotta be fun. Like, I don't know. Like, you know the proof. Like, you will see some come on, we know. Like, you'll see the you'll see the girls that look and it's nothing against them, but it's like,
And
bro.
clearly it is.
No, it's not, because I don't want to be that person. I'm not doing that. Shout out to my
That was creepy as fuck.
So creepy.
it was a spirit of a prude. But shout out
That joint just open by itself.
shout out my 9s and 10s and all that, right? Like, you'll see a girl that looks phenomenal. And they just not like, you could tell they boring. Like, you can smell it on them. They just don't I'm not lying. You can tell they just not that type of girl. You think it's possible to, yeah, we getting into sticky waters. I don't even want to talk about
Yeah, I was like, this is getting very complex.
Yeah, because I'm not comfortable having this conversation in public.
What? Come on,
Yeah,
bro. How y'all
right.
can start the
I think.
Yeah, I'm not
Right.
comfortable having this
Just
conversation.
say it, man.
Okay, so the best way I can.
But you know they be boring.
Finish
though.
it, finish
the
it.
best
You know it's a lot of bad joints out here. that's
Jennifer,
boring.
just finish it, please.
Yeah, the best way I can answer this is, one, you can't judge a book by its cover. That's for
Can't judge the
sure.
pussy by its cover.
Because there has been plenty of
100%.
There's been plenty of dudes that I thought, they're not really giving me BDE, but I was pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly surprised. But I think it is getting back to like what you were saying of like, I don't think it's right to assume that we can mold somebody to where we're used to be, right? Like you're with that person now, y'all are creating what it means for y'all to be in a sexual relationship. So like you have to talk about those things of like, what do you like, what do you don't like, what is it that you want to explore with that person, right? And if that person's like, oh, I've never done that, well, then you're like, all right, like, let's go to a workshop, or like, let's watch this or read this book, or like you explore it together so that person feels like that there is that safe space to be more sexual or try different things. No woman is going to just be willing to just try shit that they don't know or don't know anything about if they don't feel safe.
Yeah.
That is a number one thing.
And that was kind of my point. It was kind of like, yo, if she fuck with you and she's willing, you know, she wants to learn, or she wants to, then she can potentially get there.
This is what we got. This is why we got into this conversation.
Yeah, that's what it was.
This is where it went left. This is what we got in the argument because niggas said so. Like, he's absolutely right. I have girls. I'm a part of a chat right now, right, where I had girls say like, you know, we just ask random questions, guys, girls, a lot of shit, and somebody made a comment that got highly approved by, you know, they start liking shit that said like, if I fuck with a nigga, if I really, really like him, like, I'll give head or I'll do whatever for him because I know he likes it. I don't want it that way.
Right. You want it to be mutual.
Don't even do it for me. Do it because you like doing it, and I'm just the receptor of the fact that you like doing it. Like, don't give me head because like I fuck with John and like he's the I'm just the recipient. No, do it because you like to do that, period, and I'm just the recipient of it this time. Yeah. Now be selective with your shit. You know, be purposeful with your shit.
What does that mean?
Just don't be out here sucking the fucking everybody.
Oh, so you want a freak, but she can't have sucked too much dick in order for her to be with you.
That's what I'm talking about, Jennifer.
See, that's why I'm not comfortable having this conversation. I'm gonna look at it because I'm like the bad guy. I'm gonna look at the bad guy.
Because that's a big thing. That is a big thing.
So you telling me it's not girls out here that are trained to go that don't like your relationship could have turned you up.
Okay.
So
but again, like, why are we judging women?
I mean, see, the judging kid is crazy to me. It's just like,
well, you're like, I want you to come and I want you to suck dick because you want to, but you can't have suck too much.
No, but I
do too much. But
I think it's a fine line between judging and what works for you, right? If no, I'm wrong. Yeah, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Well, if sucking a lot of dick works for me, then what does that matter?
Turn your click up.
Listen, my whole thing is this though. I don't want the phrase like I give head because I like him, and I know it makes him happy. I'm instantly out on that.
I know what you mean.
So,
I'm instantly out on that.
But if she's not doing it, then you're still gonna have something to say.
But
what if she's good though?
You really get what I'm saying. Like you get it. You get it.
I'm playing devil advocate because
I know you are, but you get it. But deep down, you get it. You get what I mean. Like don't.
I hear what you're saying. Don't do it just solely for my pleasure. I want you to want to do it.
Just like you hold niggas to a level of discernment, right? We all like sex, but you expect us not to fuck anything walking or not to fucking like.
It depends on the person.
Whatever, but you could hold us against like I don't. Yes, I don't want you doing it to everybody or just to everybody, but like that whole like I'm doing it because it knows it makes him happy. Fuck that. I want it because you like to do it.
Yeah.
And this time around, using your discernment, I'm the recipient of it. That's what I like.
Are you communicating that to begin with though?
You would know that instantly though. It's kind of like you can. Not instantly, not through conversation, but you know it through acts though, right?
Yeah, you can't assume.
Cause look, if a girl's going crazy on me and I like it, and like she's just doing it because fuck it, we win. Like fuck it, if it's because of me. But like, in my experience, that's not the case.
Okay.
I say that.
Like it's a job. Do it like you're on vacation.
Nigga, boom.
But she can't have sucked too much dick though.
No, I would never know because we wouldn't even.
There definitely has been judgment of like, well, you suck it too good.
And that's also me talking.
Like I don't.
And that's the thing.
I've had guys say that.
This is me talking in the convo of this room because honestly, like me and Adbo was talking about all the time. If you was a slut, I never know because I'm not. I would never. I'm never asking your body count.
Thank God.
I judge more how you act, and if you put like I trust my inner judgment to. It's a small county, small area. I think I've been around the block a bunch of times. I trust my judgment to know. But honestly, I don't even give a fuck, really, if you really had a lot of fun in your past life. As long as there's a certain level, like, as long as you've been true to me when you got to me. Now, of course, caveat, hashtag, asterisk, you couldn't have been wilding. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, outside of you absolutely wilding, no, I don't care if you and me get it. You ain't sex with none of the dogs, you ain't done nothing with me. Like, I don't care. Do you? You know what I'm saying? Like, that Wayne shit, I don't care if you're a prostitute's kind of crazy. But if you know what I'm saying? Like, as long as when you get to me, as long as you've been solid with me when you got to me, we cool. And I mean that.
Okay. Well, I have so much to say, but we don't have all that kind of time.
We gotta do part two.
You can speak on something.
Jennifer, you gotta come for a part
Yeah,
two.
we would love to have you back. If
This is
you were
amazing, Jennifer. Thank you.
Let me get you back. Get you back to your whatever you got going on. If you have like any like last message you want to give to the listeners, what would that be?
Yeah, I always like to leave people with be the best lover to yourself and to your partner. And that happens when you're open, honest, and willing. So I really want people to hold on to that. And don't be afraid to explore your body. Like, love it, love on it, give yourself orgasms, know what arouses you, what pleases you, where you like to be touched, where you don't like to be touched, and be honest about that with yourself, but also with any partners.
Okay. And just let them know where they can find you if they want to reach out to you anywhere.
Yeah, so I am Sex Therapist Jen on Instagram and Twitter.
Boom.
And if you want to book a session with me, you can email me at sextherapistjen@gmail.com, or you can find me at psychyourmind.com.
Psych Your Mind. Jen,
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I learned a lot. Thank you.
We would love to have you back.
Please come back soon, Jennifer.
This ain't over. We got you.
Guys,
Thank
we
you,
appreciate y'all listening, man. It's the most unknown podcast. We out of here.
You live in this area now?
I live in Alexandria.